Question 4. Iqbal attempts 3 practice papers in mathematics. The probability that he passes the first paper is 0.6. Whenever he gains a pass in a paper, his confidence increases so that the probability of him passing the next paper increases by 0.1. Whenever he fails a paper, the probability of him passing the next paper is 0.6. Complete the given probability tree diagram for Iqbal's 3 attempts, labeling each branch with the correct probability. Based on the given information, this is 0.6, 0.7, 0.8. Then, based on the rule of tree diagram, from the same node, the sum of the probabilities on the branches will be 1. 1 minus 0.6 is 0.4. 0.3, 0.2. Whenever he fails a paper, the probability of him passing the next paper is 0.6. So this is 0.6, 0.7, 0.6. Then we got this is 0.4, 0.3, 0.6, 0.4. Let's look at each path. 0.6, 0.7, 0.8. This is PPP. 0.6 times 0.7 times 0.8. For this path, we got PPF. 0.6 times 0.7 times 0.2. For this path, PFP. 0.6 times 0.3 times 0.6. This path, PFF. 0.6 times 0.3 times 0.4. This path, FPP. 0.4 times 0.6 times 0.7. This path, FPF. 0.4 times 0.6 times 0.3. This path, FFP. 0.4 times 0.4 times 0.6. This path, FFF. 0.4 times 0.4 times 0.4. Let's go to B1. Calculate the probability that Iqbal passes 2 of the papers he attempts. Passes 2 of the papers. So this path and this path and also this. So answer for B1. 0.6 times 0.7 times 0.2, which is this path, plus 0.6 times 0.3 times 0.6. Then add this path, plus 0.4 times 0.6 times 0.7 equals 0.36. B2, calculate the probability that Iqbal passes at least 2 of the papers he attempts, which means you need to add PPP. So, based on B1, we need to add 0.6 times 0.7 times 0.8 equals 0.696. B3, calculate the probability that Iqbal passes at most 2 of the papers he attempts. At most 2, which means passes 2 papers, 1 paper, or 0 paper, which means we need to add all this together. In other words, we will use 1 minus 0.6 times 0.7 times 0.8 to get this probability, because all this adding together will be 1. Answer is 0.664. Let's go to C. Find the probability that Iqbal passes his 3rd paper, given that he passes only 1 previous paper. Only 1 previous paper. Just check the first and the second paper passes only 1 previous paper. This path, this path, this path, this path. Among these 4 paths, you need to check he passes his 3rd paper. It's this one. It's this one. So these 4 checks adding together go to this denominator. The path with these 2 circles adding together will be the numerator. So answer is 0.657. Let's go to D. Find the probability that Iqbal failed his 3rd paper, given that he failed at least 1 previous paper. Given that he failed at least 1 previous paper, we only need to check the first 2 papers. Failed at least 1. This path, this path, this path, this path, this path, and this path. Adding these probabilities of these 6 paths will be denominator. Or easier way to do this is use 1 minus 0.6 times 0.7 times 0.8. Then minus 0.6 times 0.7 times 0.2. Then among these checks, we need to figure out the path he failed his 3rd paper. 3rd paper failed. We need to add the probabilities with the red circle to be the numerator. 0.6 times 0.3 times 0.4 plus 0.4 times 0.6 times 0.3 plus 0.4 to the 3rd power equals Answer is 0.359. Let's go to E. Iqbal's classmate Ron has the same situation as him. If they both take 3 tests in a row, what's the probability that they both will pass all 3 tests? First of all, we need to figure out the probability of Iqbal passes 3 tests in a row. 0.6 times 0.7 times 0.8 equals. We got 0.336. In other words, the probability Ron passes 3 tests is 0.336. Therefore, the probability they both will pass all 3 tests will be 0.336 squared equals 0.113.